This segment is being brought to you by Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. And in this segment, you can call us here at 615-737-7767. We'll be glad to take your phone calls. But until they start coming in, I want to talk to Nick and JG. We talked about the baits and stuff that's going on. Don't be afraid to throw big lures at big fish.
Yeah.
They didn't get that large by running from one end of the creek to the other end of the creek looking for food. And especially if it's little dinky food, like anchovy or something, They go after the pizza.
Right. Well,
the big guy.
And like you were saying too, I mean, that's basic biology of a large fish. A large fish doesn't want to expend a lot of energy to hunt. It doesn't want to eat 20 minnows.
No.
It wants to eat one large meal and then go hang out by the log the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's going to let those young fish
do all that chasing.
do all the chasing.
That's it.
It all relates back.
Like us old guys on to just sit back in a recliner.
Exactly.
And that's one thing about the moving water. Those big fish are going to find the best spots, and they're going to take out where the food is being funneled to them. They're not going to chase a whole lot. They're going to chase less than these smaller fish. They're going to run around. They're going to sit in the best spots, and the food's going to come right to them.
Is there any water, because I know you guys have been all through Middle Tennessee, is there any water that you would say you're wasting your time fishing?
Well, definitely.
I'm talking about even from a red eye to, to the green perch to, is there any water that just doesn't have any of that
Well,
stuff?
no, not if you just want to catch fish. I mean, you'd be surprised. We go in these little bitty, tiny, small creeks connecting to the bigger creeks.
Because I was amazed at one time you told me you stepped across it.
Yeah.
There was a spot that you stepped across,
Yeah.
and your shoes never got wet.
We can barely fit the kayaks through certain places sometimes. But then they'll open up into, 20,
Yeah.
30 feet wide, 10-foot deep holes.
Yeah.
And they're there.
Yeah, and I will say the thing you need to avoid most of the time, and that a lot of our clients, we find them doing, is they want to fish largemouth water. They're used to fishing lakes, they're used to fishing reservoirs, and you take them out on a stream the first time, and they want to pull up next to some tree, make 16 casts with a jig, and shake it and jig it and everything else. That's not what a river fish does. A river fish sets up in an ambush spot, and it waits for food to be funneled to them. River fish are being fed by the current. A lake fish has to pursue food.
That's right.
And that's why lake fishing and river fishing are completely different. And great river fishermen are not great lake fishermen.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. You got to completely forget everything you know to be a great river fisherman. You just have to scrap reservoir fishing. And I will say the only thing though that can tie into it is Tennessee, we're river run reservoirs. So if you take current and river fishing to a reservoir and you learn when the generation schedules are, and you learn when they're pulling, and you learn how a fish is going to set up to current, whether it be largemouth or smallmouth on these river run reservoirs or striper, you will become so much more of a better reservoir angler, and you don't even realize you're using the current. When you do realize you're using the current, you're on it.
Even just when the wind blows, it creates current. In the neck down areas, and if you're aware of that, it can turn on the fish on a lake.
We got some calls we need to take because these people are wanting to talk to you guys. And we got John. John, how can we help you tonight?
Well, Hugh, good evening. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, John Schaefer. How about you, brother?
Well, I'm great. I'm actually I got a live report for you off of Percy Priest Lake. You may have heard of it.
Yes. What did you stumble across there, John?
Well, interesting. Everybody's saying, fish are shallow, they're spawning, they're backing off, which there may be a little bit of that going on. But I found fish tonight, Hugh, in 15 plus feet of water on a bluff. Bait fish, catfish, crappie, bass. And my technique, jigging a spoon. Nothing funner than the jigging a spoon.
And it's just mimicking a shad. It's
Exactly.
looks just like a shad. Now, were you using a big spoon or? Because my
5-inch.
5-inch, okay, 5-inch. That's an average size, I would think, of a Tennessee shad, about 5 inches long this time of year.
Say that. So, I guess the point being, don't be too afraid to get off the bank a little bit. Right now. But the key was, as always, there's bait there, and it was off a point, wind-blown bank. So it was just kind of set up real nice, caught a good handful. I ain't gonna lie to you, my freezer is gonna get a little more fuller tonight.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, John. Mine could even be filled even more. So come on over. John Schaefer, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, my brother.
Thanks to you. See you. Bye.
See you, buddy. And we have Davis. Davis, how can we help you tonight? Hello? Davis? Okay. And who else? John, how can we help you tonight?
What day does turkey season end?
What day does turkey season end? I'm going to have to look it up in my calendar.
You're asking the wrong guys.
I think it's the first weekend, actual weekend of May, that Sunday, I believe, of the full weekend in May. I believe that's it. But if you will wait just a few minutes, I'm gonna give the calendar of events, and it's in my calendar, and I know exactly where it is. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Great questions. You had a few about hunting and mostly about fishing. All right, one is, and how can we help you tonight? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. How can we help you tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to call and say hey to the guys. I'm a river fisherman and a creek fisherman. I fish up here in Kentucky, a little place called Red River.
Oh, yeah.
Got some creeks and it run off of it. It's spring fed, and I catch a lot of smallmouth on Christmas Day up here.
Now,
I catch them, in the winter and in the summer too. But I'm a plastic bait man. I throw a green fucking seed brush hog.
okay.
And like I said, I got some springs and some spring fed blue holes, creeks that run into the river, and the smallmouth's doing real good.
Well,
4 to 6 pounds smallmouth is nothing, come off of the Red River.
well, now, that Red River dips down into Tennessee, too, because it comes through Springfield and Robertson County, and
Yeah.
we got some great, you're right, though, that is a great tributary right there. It's got a lot of good smallmouth in it.
He's done some work and found some spots.
Yeah.
It's getting better, and I've been catching a lot of good Kentucky bass spots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I like those Kentuckys.
2.5, 3 pounds.
Ooh, those boys will fight.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I just want to give a shout out to them because
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate all our.
everything they do, and I love it.
All right. Well, we sure appreciate our fine friends up there in Kentucky too, because they love to fish just like we do.
Yeah, I'm from Kentucky.
Show me one of those big musky baits that you got in there, and then I want to show. Oh my goodness! Can we get a close up of this? Now this is a bull shad from Mike Buca.
Mike Buca.
What a wonderful man. I like Mike. People don't realize that he's deaf, but we've had him on the show here. He's awesome. He has created one of the frenzies of, I think, the southern region of the United States. I mean, they got Castelic baits out in California. We got the bull shad here.
I mean, it's hands down one of the best swim baits out there. I don't care if you're gonna, there's swim baits out there that are $400+.
Oh yeah.
And every one of the bull shads is basically $100 and under.
Yeah.
And they're handmade, and they flat out catch fish. I mean,
And you guys were lucky enough that Bill Barton painted this one
Yeah,
for
he
you.
did a little bit of special work on us for that one.
And if you can tell, he's got it so brown, it's almost purple on the back
Yep.
here.
Yep.
So this is like a golden shiner.
I'm kind of looking
or
for a sucker color on that.
sucker
That's
color,
our
okay.
big musky lure. so.
Man, what a beautiful, beautiful bait. Bullshap bike buka,
Yep.
painted by Bill Barton from B&B Custom Lures. So if you're lucky enough to get something like this, you can flat catch fish with this right here now.
Yep.
And he's got smaller versions. I'm kind of. Now here's something. It's a
That's
rainbow trout.
Yeah, that's
Really?
that's one of our striper baits there. You know, you went striper fishing.
Oh,
with
I
us.
did.
And I remember when you showed up, you said, "Oh, we're gonna be throwing old redfin, right?" We were like, "No, that's what everybody else throws. We're throwing trout, big trout, you know,
Big
And-
trout. And,
So-
and they do. Those striper. I've been fishing with 15-inch rainbow trout, and they'll eat it like it was a
Yeah.
piece of candy.
Yep.
It is a piece of candy.
It is a piece
Exactly.
of
And it's like, oh my
Striper
gosh.
candy.
And-
yeah, they don't care.
And the big browns as well.
All
That's-
the big browns, they love them.
Exactly. So you know, that's people think trout fishing little baits. You know, not if you want to catch big trout.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's my favorite
This-
striper
this is
lure
something.
right there.
Yep.
All right, hey, we've got to do our tip of the week, so let's go do that right now. Tip of the week is being sponsored by our Davidson County Farmers Co-op out there off of Dickerson Road in North Nashville. Tell Scott Cooper that you saw his deal here on Southern Woods Waters. Nick, help us out, brother. Or was JG going to do it?
No, it's okay. We're going to have to go with safety, I think, in the kayaks right now. Because
Yeah.
we're floating a lot of streams right now, and you have to be so careful. Always wear your PFD. And then, too, watch for strainers. Because you get a tree in the current, and it can sweep you under it so fast, and you can get hung underneath it. And
Now, that's what
I think
you're
you know a
calling a
little
strain.
bit like
I
that.
do. I personally
Anything
know.
in the river is straining the water as it's
Okay.
going through. You see what I'm saying? Something that's stationary, and the water's going past it.
A lot of people call it a
very
neck down.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we went on just a fun kayak trip, and Joy's first cousin, got trapped in the middle of the river, and it was trying to sucker up underneath it. And a buddy of mine was gonna walk out there to do it, and I said, "You don't have enough lead in your tail. First off, to be walking out there in that swift water, it'll take you down." He didn't believe me. I had a long enough rope. I threw her one side. Kept one side on him, and I kept the middle. He lost his footing just like I said he would. I had to get him to the bank first and then pull her to the bank. But you got to know what a river can do. And water is some of the most damaging elements that we have here on Earth.
Yep.
It can do a lot of damage. And if it's moving,
Yep.
it
So
can really
powerful.
do some damage.
Yeah.
And be prepared, just like you said, you had a rope. It's the
we
key
had a big
is to
long rope. We
be
carried it with
prepared.
us.
Fill that kayak up with
gotta do
everything
it.
you can.
Everything you can. Hey, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we got a recipe that is hot to trot over here with some of these anything sauces. So hurry back to more Southern Woods and Waters.